Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm Bill and this is Mr. Milo, my assistant. He's been hard at work today, as you can tell. Anyway, we're here back with another story. I wanted to tell you that, the automotive industry is in a world of hurt right now. I know you've seen hundreds and hundreds of videos about what dealers are doing, what they're not doing. And I don't know if I can really blame the dealers. It seemed to me like it's more of a manufacturer process or problem. These dealers, they don't own these cars. I mean, they're floor planning these cars, and they can't control those stickers that are on the car that says MSRP. And in a story that I'm going to tell you here in just a minute, what I've learned about MSRPs, these dealers, you would think that with the inventory where they are right now, you would think that they would be coming off of these MSRPs, and like it used to be years ago, that they would back off of those things and say, "Oh, don't even pay attention to the MSRP sticker price. Come on in, we'll talk to you." And we just never put that much into an MSRP price, sticker price on a car. We used to call them sticker, we call them sticker price, call them MSRP. But now that's the thing. I mean, they'll come in there. Well, what's the MSRP? They'll look at that, and if there is already a predetermined discount, maybe they'll talk to you about that. But for the most part, that's their starting figure. That's where they're actually gonna start from. So my story. I recently had a GMC a Silverado, which I actually loved that truck, and we had a travel trailer, a 24-foot travel trailer that we pulled with it. Well, we're getting a little older, and we decided that maybe we'll get out of the travel trailer business a little bit, and just that we would rent when we wanted it or go get a cabin or something like that. So we sold it, and that kind of led to the point of not needing the truck anymore, which I really regret that. Not only was it paid off, it was very nice. It was a 2018 GMC, and a really nice truck. And but I just didn't really have any space for it. We've downsized our house. We got a small house now, 2-car garage, very small. Enough for a little SUV and a little Lexus that I have, and so didn't have any room for it, so I decided to sell it. And actually, one of the few vehicles that I've ever sold that I actually came out ahead. I paid about when COVID first hit. I paid about $26,000 for this through Carvana or one of those. Had it delivered right to our house, and I ended up selling it for $36,000 4 years later. So never was able to have a turnaround on a vehicle like that before. So that was pretty cool. But now I kind of regret that I did that, because now we're kind of getting the urge to maybe get a smaller little trailer and kind of get back out on the road a little bit. But if you're going to do that, you're going to have something to pull it. And our little Nissan SUV was not going to do that. So I started researching trucks. I looked at the Canyon. I looked at the Tundra. I looked at the everything out there that was really the smaller versions. The Ford Ranger. The Ford Ranger is not the small little truck that I remember it being when I got my son a Ford Ranger years ago. It's not the case anymore. And so they came out with a new version called a Maverick. So I wanted to go look at a Maverick. Had some connections with a local Ford dealer here in the Metroplex in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So I did my research, found out kind of what I was looking for. I thought that, I knew that the 2024s were here everywhere, and the 2025s were getting ready to come in. It's the month of November. We're getting close to the end of the year. My history has always shown me that that's when dealers want to deal the most, is towards the end of the year. And that, combined with the fact that inventories were so high, that I might have a shot to get something. So here's the criteria. Number one, I wanted to lease this time. I don't want another asset. I don't want another. I'm not trying to. At my age, I'm not trying to own cars and have them for years and years and years. I just wanted to lease one so that it could do what I needed to do. And I wanted to stay below $400 a month. Upper threes, maybe hit four, maybe four and a quarter, maybe, but I wasn't going to tell them that. So I went in with a goal at upper threes. I didn't want to pay more than maybe $5,000 down, really less than that. And I'd already looked at some of these MSRPs, and they were coming in at, I saw one at 29, I saw one at 30, I saw one at 32. Then they had the XLT packages. I wasn't really sure if maybe just the basic model, which I think is the XL, would have worked for me. But then they also have a luxury package, which was one that I was going to test drive, that had some neat things. I do admit, I do like having heated seats, maybe a heated steering wheel, a couple of little luxuries like that. It also had an inverter, so it had AC power in the back, in the bed, and in the cab. You know, it had some cool features, I think, but that knocked the price up to about, $2,500 when you start to even just go with that luxury package. So I found one at the dealer. I called them and I said, look, I want to come test drive it, and I actually want to drive it home. Well, I live about 10 miles from the dealership. I want to drive it home, and I want to see if it fits in my garage. Home builders here in Texas, they never got it. They never understood that we're truck owners down here, and they need to build these garages a foot or so deeper. Just a foot or two would be able to bring our vehicles into our garages, so when the hail comes, which it does often, that we wouldn't be scrambling and trying to figure out what we're going to do, or either worse, end up with a vehicle that's beat to hell by hail. No pun intended. We're on the way to a Ford dealership here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area to look at a Ford Maverick. I'm in the market for a smaller truck, mainly because I want it to fit in my garage. That's one. But also, I need something with a little more towing power. We have a Nissan Murano, but we want to pull a little, our camp trailer that weighs about 5,000 pounds, so 4,000 to 5,000. So I got to find something. I don't really want the big size truck. I've had many F-150s before, GMC. I've had all those. They won't fit in the garage. And so I'm tired of the hail that we have down here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area a lot, and the potential of damaging. So we're gonna take a look at the Maverick. There's several others that I'm looking at, including the Hyundai Santa Cruz. Kind of ruled that one out. I just don't really like the looks of that thing, but I've heard some decent things about the Maverick. So we're gonna go check it out. So we'll see you there. These are all Ford Broncos through here. Just look at them all. Look at them all as far as you can see. So take a look at these Mavericks. How many of them they have out here? Grays. There's the white. Grays. Let's just pick one of these XLTs. $33,000. Here's the blue. $30,580. I like the blue. The orange. Look at all of these. On and on and on. These are all Mavericks. Definitely has some pickup. The little EcoBoost on these things, the little 6-cylinder EcoBoost, are pretty cool. Seems to be pretty solid. Drives smooth. One thing I can tell you so far about this, very basic on the interior. Look at that door, these door panels. Very, very basic, but so far so good on the drive. So here it is, 2024 Ford Maverick. I do like the styling of the Maverick. I like the way the back is like this, that little curve right there. I think that looks sharp, and I like the wheels and the tires on these things. They're bigger than I thought. I don't know what I was expecting. Now this is the XLT. Very nice. I like the front end of these things for sure. Do like the front. Now this one, the XLT, you'll see it lists for $30,580. So it does have some extras on it. Let's see. It says full-size spare tire, XLT luxury package, trailer hitch, receiver. But this isn't the 4K. I'm going to require the 4K towing package, which will take it up to 4,000 pounds. I'm anxious to see at 30,580 where this would come in on a lease, because I am interested in a lease. I like the way the bed is. It's nice. I guess this is a, what, 6 foot? Is that a 6 foot bed? I like this electrical plug over here. That's cool. I like that. I like the way the back is. It does fit in our garage, by the way. It's tight. It's 199 inches, but it does fit. See in the back, it's very basic. It has the pull down drink holder and armrest, which is nice. I don't know if y'all could smell that, but definitely has the new Ford smell. Those are the floor mats. It's got an electrical outlet back here as well. Interesting the way those doors are. I didn't like them at first, but now, I don't know, it kind of grows on you a little bit. So it's not bad at all. I mean, it's a little different. It's certainly not very fancy. It's very plain Jane. I noticed it didn't have satellite radio as one of the source options. I don't know if that could be put on or what the deal is on that. It does have both. It's got the USB and the Lightning, I guess what that is. Adapter there. It's got storage here. That's pretty good. That's more than my Lexus. And I do like all this storage up in here. That's pretty cool. Nice size glove box. So it has everything that I think you would need. It does have a mirror up there, which is good. Mirrors on both ends, on both sides. So I said I got to drive it home. So I went to look at it. This one was black and looked to be a nice truck. I like the curves. I like the size. I like the way it looks. It wasn't very impressive on the inside. Very plain looking. The dashboard was very plain. Holes everywhere where I guess you could put your phone and you could put different things, but very, very basic. But still, that wasn't gonna keep me, So I drove it home, and it drove nice. I really liked the way it drove. It was very smooth. I liked the size of it. I liked the feel of it. Interesting that the transmission switch is on the floor. It's just a knob. It's not on the column. It's not a stick. It's just a little knob that you turn on the floorboard. It was interesting. But I got home and I drove it in the garage. I knew going in it was 199 inches long, per factory specs, and so I knew that, and I knew that I had measured before, and I thought I could go up to 200 or so. I knew it was going to be tight, so I came home and I inched into the garage and actually got it in there. We actually were going to have to switch sides, my wife and I, because we had a refrigerator freezer on one side, and if I would have pulled in on that side, there's no way it could have even opened the door. So pulled in on the other side and figured out that it would work. Actually shut the door and opened it and with no problems. And I said, okay, got that going for us. So drove it back to the dealership, and I came in and talked to the guy, and really nice guy, and they didn't have one in stock, but they were going to look around. Found one about 100 miles away from 150 miles away or so from where we were. So it was also black, which was okay. I actually liked the blue, black, or the red, but that particular Maverick's red color was not. It was an interesting color. In the sun, it looked orange. In the shade, it looked red. And so black would have been fine. But we started just looking at one, and it said, okay, well let me always tell these dealers. I said, well, just run some numbers and tell me the very, very, very best you can do. I knew going in that on a lease, one of the first things they ask is, how much can you afford monthly? How much can I know how they're going to back you into these things. But I knew what the MSRP was, even that the one that was a couple hundred miles away, 150 miles away. So I kind of knew I was going to wait to see after he brought the numbers back and to see where they were in correlation with that number. So here he comes back after a while, and he had this dejected look on his face, and I knew that okay, this was not going to work. And he goes, wow. He says, just couldn't make it work. And I said, well, how far off are we? Because, I said, I knew that if I had to, at this point, I was ready to go up to like 4.25 or whatever, $2,500 down, minimal lease too, and very low mileage. I said 10,000 miles a year, 12 tops. And I thought, well, maybe this should be close, right? Was I wrong? So it looks like I'm going to be keeping my Lexus for a while. Look at this, guys. For that 2024 Maverick with $2,500 down on a 36-month lease is $644 a month on a lease. I could get it down in the threes if I paid $12,500. So I'm telling you, these prices are just absolutely crazy. The truck priced out at 36, that with the 4K towing package, and that was the luxury package that went with the XLT. But for that kind of pricing, I mean, that's where the F-150s were a few years ago. And now, of course, as you know, the F-150s are out of control. But so there you have it. So I did understand at 199 inches long, it does fit in it would fit in my garage, but for $644 a month for a lease payment on a 36-month lease for a little mini truck. So there you go. So it looks like me and my 2012 Lexus IS, which I still love, just not going to be able to do any towing for a while, but that's okay. So there you have it. Didn't budge a dollar off the MSRP, not a dollar. So there we were, and I it's so different than in the past. I haven't been in a dealer and negotiated on a car in a long time, but it's very different because back a few years ago, a dealer did not want you to walk out that door. no matter what, they did not want to see you walk out that door. They would stop the door if they had to say, come back in and sit down and let's talk about this. Well, that didn't happen. It was like, hey, I'm sorry, I know what he was thinking, that, well, somebody else is going to buy that. They had about 8 or 9 on the lot of the Mavericks. They didn't have that many, had a ton of F-150s. I mean, row after row after row of F-150s. In fact, the new car lot was so full of trucks that they had to go across the street to their used car lot, and they filled that lot too. And then a block away was their fleet lot, and they filled that lot too with brand new F-150s, all 24 models. And I asked him, I said, what are you going to do when the 25s come in? And they, well, I don't know. We're not sure what's going to happen. I guess they all just sit around thinking magically something is going to happen. But until they're willing to come off, and the factories are willing to back down on these MSRPs, or to give the dealers a lot of flexibility with that, then nothing's going to change. I mean, I'm just middle class America here, and I can't go into a car situation at $600, $700, $800, $900 a month. I mean, that to me was a house note. I think the lesson learned was that I really thought that the MSRP was just going to be kind of a guideline right now in November of 2024 with all the horror stories that we're hearing. It seems like every car I've ever been interested in, one of the first things they say is, well, yeah, you picked a car that everybody wants right now, and da 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 da, and there's no way in the world there's going to be a price discount and all this. Well, maybe that's the case. But they had a bunch of them on the lot, and he said they still had a bunch of them coming in. But no way to negotiate, no way to help get into this thing. And I'm a sucker when it comes to stuff like this. I told myself before I walked in the dealership, don't do it. Make sure it's the best deal. And I tell you, after test driving it and seeing that it fit in the garage, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. I loved the looks of it. I was going to do the deal. I would have been there that day. I was off all day long. I could go in, and I don't care if it took a couple of hours. I could have done that deal, and I was willing to do it. I would have probably given a little bit more on on my down payment, but there was nothing. There was no effort on their end. I guess he felt that somebody else is just going to come right along behind me and swoop it up, I guess. But so there you have it, the 2024 Ford Maverick. Nice looking truck. It's got a lot of cool features on it. The reviews have been very good on the Ford Maverick from what I've seen. The 2025s, it looked like there was really not going to be any reason to wait for them to come out, other than they had already. Here's another thing: the manufacturers already said that the 2025 was going to be a higher price. So that's right. You got lots and lots and lots of that are full to the brim of cars because the prices are too high. They're not dropping these MSRPs, these F-150s that are $70,000, $80,000. And I don't know. I'm not one of those people that can buy one of those, and I'm sure there's a lot of others that can't do that either. So, Ford dealers, if you get to the point where you can be a little bit negotiable, in my case, if they had to drop that MSRP $3,000 or $4,000, I'm sure I would have been in the numbers that I needed to be able to get the deal. So they're not all that far off, but they're just double downing right now and not doing the deal. So there's my story on the Ford Maverick. Disappointing. I'm going to keep looking out there, and I'm sure there'll be something even better that comes along down the road. So until next time, Mr. Milo and I will be here and bringing you some stories from the great state of Texas and beyond. And we'll talk about them and give you our thoughts. So if you like what you see today, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a big like, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.